Good evening. Welcome to the 2021 Virtual Pride Awards celebration. We're so glad you could join us. You're looking great, by the way. The ceremony will be starting shortly. In the meantime, we'd love to see how you're celebrating from home. Share your pictures and videos with us by using our hashtag EmoryLabGrad21. During the show, you can also engage with other viewers and share your messages with the award winners and graduates through a live chat. Now, go ahead, grab some snacks and a comfy seat because the show is starting soon.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first ever all-virtual Emory Pride Awards. My name is Danielle Bruce Steele, and I direct the Office of LGBT Life and Belonging and Community Justice, and thank you all for tuning in tonight. When people ask me, what are the Pride Awards? I reply that they celebrate all things queer over the past year. In fact, the founding director of the Office of LGBT Life, Sarah Lynn Chestnut, established the first Pride Awards banquet to recognize all the strides towards equality that were made in the first year the office was open. And we've been working and celebrating every year since, global pandemic or not. Once we got past the initial shock of our world screeching to a halt and then slowly but steadily finding a new equilibrium, I should not have been surprised that Emory students and community members went right back to pursuing justice and finding ways of connecting, organizing, and creating positive change for queer and trans people. A year of darkness and uncertainty has slowly, and sometimes haltingly, turned toward the light with a renewed sense of hope and urgency. This year, this work, this Pride Awards does not look the same as they always have, and yet they continue. The work continues with an unending and urgent call for the racial justice in this country and around the world, in a struggle and a fight for equal treatment and protections for queer and trans people, in battles that are inextricably intertwined with the overdue demand for justice for all. We are buoyed by wins and gains, some subtle and some not so, and we are humbled by those making sacrifices and fighting with the hope that we can maybe someday live up to our potential. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to recognize some of those people tonight, as we also celebrate those among us who are brave in their authenticity, even in the face of uncertainty. And now to Jackie for the introduction of this evening's keynote speaker.
Thank you, Danielle, and good evening, everyone. My name is Jacqueline Bellis, and I'm the Program Coordinator at the Office of LGBT Life. I'm very excited to be here with you all tonight to have the opportunity to honor and celebrate those of you in our community who, despite the very real adversity we've endured this past year, have continued to create resources and build community for queer and ally communities at Emory. It's been an honor working with all of you this past year as we found new ways to support each other, learn from one another, and to strive for social justice alongside each other. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing the Pride Awards' first ever keynote speaker, Dr. ALIX OLSEN. Dr. ALIX OLSEN is an assistant professor of women's, gender, and sexuality studies at Oxford College. Her research interests include critical theory, feminist and queer politics, art activisms, and social movements. At Emory, OLSEN is the co-chair of the Studies and Sexualities Executive Council and serves on the university's Symposium on Slavery Committee. Last year, OLSEN received a CFTE teaching fellowship, and this year she joined the inaugural cohort of Emory Art and Social Justice Fellows. Prior to OLSEN's academic life, she toured internationally for over a decade as a spoken word artist, regularly appearing in media outlets like HBO's Def Poetry Jam, Air America with Rachel Maddow, and NPR. OLSEN has also published widely within popular media, including in Miss and Curve magazines, co-authoring Burning Down the House, and editing the first U.S. all-women spoken word anthology, Word Warriors, 35 Women Leaders in the Spoken Word Revolution, which the feminist thinker Bell Hooks calls an anthology to resurrect you. In addition to her college teaching, Dr. OLSEN has lectured and taught about social justice, art and politics, and writing workshops, and performed spoken word poetry at over 300 colleges and universities, and at political conferences, high schools, rallies, and prisons across the United States and internationally. Time Out New York describes ALIX as a mesmerizing firebrand, a joyful dyke feminist preacher, and we could not be more excited to have her with us here today. ALIX embodies the spirit of queerness, a commitment to breaking down systems of oppression, and an eagerness to redefine the self, happiness, and community. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Dr. OLSEN to the 2021 Pride Awards ceremony.
Dearest Lavender graduates, Emory's LGBT+ communities and allies, family, friends, esteemed guests, and all those who love you. The trans philosopher Matt Ferguson writes that in order to recognize history is missing and then to go find it, one has to be curious. I've been thinking a lot about curiosity in this moment, about who gets to do it, what we do with it and don't do, which questions get validated and venerated or dismissed and terminated, about what gets passed over, who gets passed over, in the absence of particular kinds of curiosity. And so on this spectacular day that celebrates the spectacular questions you have undoubtedly been pursuing, those have led to the piece of paper that says you now know stuff, I want to focus my remarks today on our queerly cultivated curiosity. Queers get curious as survival. We seek missing histories. We enter archives to find ancestors who grew sideways like us. We look for stories, so many stories, of female husbands and lesbian wives, into Spirit and Compton cafeteria, drag queens and rebellions and riots. Queers get curious as survival. We live the epistemic harm of simple binaries and one right answers, so we get charmed by transgression and multiplicity. We pursue paradox. Curiosity is our vitality. It keeps us finding and found. And I've been thinking about your queer curiosity when you leave us, when you leave this place, and how you will need to keep it safe. In a world that may work to curtail and tame, to colonize and shame your queer curiosity, how it may be called a pet project, presumed incompetent, pressure cooked into asking less queer questions, more efficient, straight, and streamlined, more relevant questions, more profitable questions. I've been thinking about how your queer curiosity may be called a nag, a nuisance, a burden, a drag, a time suck, a busybody, a heretic, a killjoy, unpatriotic, unprincipled, or totally random. How your queer questions may be patronized, infantilized, reminded that the world changes slowly, or these things take time, that now's not the time, that we're out of time, that you're missing the point. How your questions may be seduced by Google and Alexa and other knowledge factories owned by CEOs. How your questions will get coaxed by white coats and white collars and Ivy League scholars who explain that the answers to your queer questions are complicated or hard to put in layman's terms. I've been thinking about how your boss will ask, "Are there any questions?" in the professional clipping cadence that clobbers queer questions. Like, is this diversity statement backed by policies that actually support people? I've been thinking about how you may see more equality acts passed on the day that your government bombs other countries and be told that your queer questions are not festive, are not sufficiently festive, how you'll be warned to wash your queer questions in rainbows and empire. How you may be told to keep your queer curiosity in the company of unicorns and revolutionaries and other creatures that occupy ideational space under colonialism. You may be told to keep your queer curiosity to the real world. You're in the real world now, they will say. They may demand from your queer curiosity a plan, a scheme, a blueprint. It will be charged with mapping itself on a bordered geography, not its own. But there too is this. The moment you hold the paper that says you now know stuff is the moment you commit to your queer questions. You will wrap them in tissue paper to protect them. You will pack them like parachutes in your pockets to coast you from the cliffs of bad options. They'll link arms with the questions you find in queer archives. They'll form picket lines, fill protest signs, and block bridges arch wide over movements. They'll open horizons and occupy sit-ins because this thing we find ourselves in, this thing we are in together, we are piecing together to call something like a world. I know you already know. It will take endless repair and resetting, remixing and irreverence and unthinking what we have been taught is foundational to freedom. You will remand your inheritance of status quo questions handed down dressed in pantsuits by for-profit institutions. You will resist the straight shuffling of your smart, queer questions down the siloed hallways of undeviating disciplines. You will insist to PhD advisors who ask about the holes in the literature that you are worried about the holes in the world, that you are worried about the whole world. I promise you this. As you do this, you will find your queer curious kin. You will know them by their skeptical scowls and their huge hoping hearts loping out of their chests. You will see them beaming at your questions while compounding your queer questions. You will find your queer curious kin, and when you do, when you find them, hold on to them hard. I know you will unfurl your queer questions like a flag, because you know they do flag a different kind of allegiance, a pledge of queer disobedience to the limits that resemble imagination. You will covet yourself enough to assemble the world that deserves you, a world that heeds your demand, that it desire you back. Now go make the world that desires you back. Congratulations, Emory graduates, and solidarity and love.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Olsen, for your words, presence, and enthusiasm at today's ceremony. As we all know, this pandemic has required us all to come up with new and creative ways to connect with each other. And while we miss being able to celebrate with you all in person, of course, having a virtual ceremony has allowed us all the honor of having Dr. Olsen as our first ever keynote speaker. Thank you, Dr. Olsen, again for sharing your message of reflection, hope, and celebration. Now to celebrate this year's Pride Award winners. This past year has been like no other, and before we celebrate this year's award winners, it's important to us that we congratulate everyone in our community for persevering through this year with such honesty, vulnerability, and most importantly, self-advocacy. Y'all deserve all the flowers and accolades and care this world has to offer. So kudos to y'all. With that said, each year we have the opportunity to reflect on the programs, initiatives, and achievements from individuals in our community that have made a positive impact at our home at Emory. We had an incredible pool of nominations and recipients this year, and I can't wait to celebrate them and their successes with you all in good queer company. Let's get the show started.
Hi, I'm Jane Yang, and I'm here to present the Chestnut LGBT Person of the Year Award. Established in 2007, the Chestnut LGBT Person of the Year Award recognizes a member of Emory University's LGBT community. Recipients are selected based upon many criteria, including but not limited to demonstrated leadership in an organization, program, project, or other effort that advances equity and awareness of the LGBT community, service to LGBT people through community activism and advocacy, mentoring, outreach, and role modeling for other LGBT and non-LGBT people with the aim of fostering understanding and support for the LGBT community. This year's recipient has worked as a senior staff member at Emory Counseling and Psychological Services, also known as Emory CAPS, for the past 2.5 years. In his time at Emory CAPS, the recipient has provided meaningful voice when considering agency community interventions for students who hold historically marginalized identities, including LGBT and BIPOC students. He served as a leader in considering intersectional identity in therapeutic and community-focused initiatives, providing expertise about the intersections of gender identity and race, intentionally lifting up the needs and experiences of trans folks, including BIPOC trans folks. And he served as CAPS liaison to LGBT life, as well as the advisor of the Black Mental Health Ambassadors. I'm honored to present the Chestnut LGBT Person of the Year Award to Theron Grant.
Hey everyone, I'm just excited to be here. You know, I was quite humbled at the thought to even be nominated for an award, and now I'm just quite speechless to be selected. So thank you. My heart is so full, and I'm very honored to accept this award. I've absolutely enjoyed working at Emory and with the students at CAPS. I was welcomed to this position a little over 2 years ago, and I've had the opportunity to do the work I've been so passionate about, which is focusing on the intersections of identity and the holistic well-being of students. Of course, this work doesn't just happen at CAPS, but also extends across the broader campus life community. And I'm just thrilled to represent CAPS and the work that I've done across the offices of belonging and community justice as well. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. It's a humble honor to accept this award, and I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Hello, I am Margot Cowden, Director of the Emory College Woodruff Scholars Program, and it is my honor to present the award for Outstanding Trans Advocate of the Year. This award honors an individual, department, or organization that has made meaningful contributions to Emory's transgender, gender variant, transsexual, genderqueer, and gender-questioning people throughout the past year. The Transgender Advocate of the Year winner will have demonstrated contributions that resulted in the creation or improvement of an inclusive, respectful, and safe climate for the transgender community and their allies, thereby furthering the mission of the Office of LGBT Life and promoting acceptance, equality, and diversity in the Emory University community. It is my great pleasure to present the Outstanding Trans Advocate of the Year Award to the Woodruff Scholars Gender Affirming Items Project Group, made up of Henry Mangalapalli, Ben Gilbert, Sean Parker, Jackson Eckel, and Gabe Har-Siebenlist. They conceived this project as part of an equity design challenge in which teams of Woodruff scholars developed initiatives that helped to address issues of inequity at Emory. The team proposed providing funds and administrative support to help trans students access gender-affirming clothing and cosmetic items. This project thoughtfully addresses a long-standing issue, taking concrete action to dismantle financial and social barriers to trans students' safety and well-being on campus. Moreover, they were able to implement the project in less than one semester, which must certainly set a new record for project execution in higher education. Their go-live date is the International Trans Day of Visibility, March 31st. Congratulations, scholars. Thank you for helping to create a respectful and affirming environment for trans folks at Emory.
Hello everyone, my name is Henry Mangalapalli and I'm speaking on behalf of myself and my fellow team members for the Gender Affirming Items Project, Ben Gilbert, Sean Parker, Gabe Har-Siebenlist, and Jackson Eckel. We'd like to thank the Office of LGBT Life for selecting us as the recipients of the Outstanding Trans Advocate of the Year Award. We're grateful for the support we've received from the Emory Scholars Program and everyone at the Office of LGBT Life. With their help, we're so excited to be able to launch the Gender Affirming Clothing Program on March 31st, which is International Trans Visibility Day. Thank you.
It is my absolute pleasure to present this year's Burl Boykin Fierce Leadership Award to a fiercely deserving individual. But first, a word about Burl Boykin. In the early 1960s, Burl Boykin was a student at the college here at Emory. But Burl was kicked out of Emory because he was gay. Later in life, Burl went on to become the first marshal for Atlanta Pride. He became a journalist for The Great Speckled Bird, which was an independent newspaper here in Atlanta. He was a fierce advocate and vocal advocate for LGBTQ rights. He was a playwright, he was a poet, and he was a remarkable human being. Late in his life, before he passed, I had the pleasure of meeting him. Senator Cory Booker once said, "We drink from the wells of liberty that we did not dig." When I think about Burl Boykin, I think about someone who dug those wells of liberty. Dug those wells of liberty for those of us at Emory. Dug those wells of liberty for LGBTQ folks in Atlanta and in the South and throughout the nation, through his leadership and through his art. And that is why we named this award for him. Today's recipient of the Burl Boykin Fierce Leadership Award is Brent Allman. Brent is someone who got involved in LGBT life here at Emory from the moment he arrived as a PhD student in 2017. In fact, he led a weekly discussion group called Queer Grads, taking on a number of important topics such as consent, trans and gender non-conforming individuals, and fat phobia as related to the LGBTQ communities. Indeed, he served as president of Queer Grads for a number of years. Not only that, Brent Allman also served as president of the LGBTQ+ Graduate Coalition. And in that role, among other things, he implemented diversity training for members of the Population, Biology, Ecology, and Evolution Graduate Program in the Graduate Division of Biological and Biomedical Sciences. Moreover, he is a member of Laney Graduate School's EDGE, that is Emory Diversifying Graduate Education Program. Laney EDGE strives to promote diversity and a community of inclusiveness by offering social and cultural programming where students of diverse backgrounds feel welcome and respected. One of Brent's recommenders said this: "In every space Brent enters, he is considerate, perceptive, and kind, often going the extra mile to make folks in the room feel heard, safe, and valued. For all of those reasons and many more, it is my absolute delight and pleasure to award this year's Burl Boykin Fierce Leadership Award to Brent Allman."
Hi, thank you so much for this award. It really means a lot. I'd especially like to thank the Office of LGBT Life for letting me do the work that I've been doing during my time at Emory. So thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Jackie, who are the folks that have been supporting me as I've been here at Emory. And I would also like to thank Fred Smith and Dave Hayward for their generosity in making the gift of this award possible. And I'm just humbled to be one of the recipients of this award. I know that a lot of wonderful people have gotten it before, so I am excited to take on that legacy too. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Dean Greg McGonigal, Emory's Dean for Religious Life, and it's my pleasure to present the Reverend Susan Henry Crow Keeping the Faith Award. This award is named in honor of my predecessor, Susan Henry Crow, who served as Emory's Dean of Religious Life for 22 years, providing loving pastoral care to Emory's LGBTQ community and serving as a beacon of social justice on campus and within her own United Methodist Church. Most notably, Susan created a policy that prevented religious discrimination and allowed same-gender weddings in Emory's university chapels way back in 1997, 18 years before it became the law of the land nationwide in 2015. And so this award honors an individual, a department, or an organization that has made meaningful contributions toward creating a welcoming and affirming campus climate for queer people of faith at Emory. I'm delighted to say this year's awardee is Christine Liang, who was nominated by her roommate, Maggie Weber. And Maggie says, "I live with Christine, and I've been very impressed by her dedication to the Queerness and Spirituality Initiative between the Office of LGBT Life and the Office of Spiritual and Religious Life. Through her constant motivation to explore the intersection of faith and queer identities, Christine's been able to create a space virtually for undergraduate and graduate students to interact and discuss their relationships to religion and LGBTQ issues. She's helped to create a welcoming space that allowed for everyone to feel comfortable, including students who are closeted. She's always talking about her work, and so it's clear she has a true passion for it. And I would add that it's been a real joy to work with Christine on these efforts this year. She does bring a great deal of passion and joyful energy to this work, and I'm delighted to help honor her efforts, and we look forward to her continued leadership in the future. And I would say that the work of LGBT inclusion is critical to the anti-oppressive mission of the Office of Spiritual and Religious Life. So we always welcome strong, thoughtful, passionate leaders like Christine into this work, and we always invite you to reach out if you're interested in engaging as well. But today, on behalf of the Office of Spiritual and Religious Life, I want to say congratulations to you, Christine, and to all of the honorees today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm a current student staff member at the Office of LGBT Life, and I'm so thankful to be accepting the 2021 Reverend Susan Henry Crow Keeping the Faith Award. Thank you to those who nominated me, and thank you to everyone who supported me with this queer spirituality project, particularly Reverend Greg, the Dean of Office of Spiritual and Religious Life. Thank you to everyone who attended and made me feel part of a larger community at Emory. I'm very excited for more collaborations in the future with the Office of LGBT Life and OSRL.
Hello, my name is Stu Marvel, and I'm Assistant Professor in the Department of Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, and I'm coming to you live from Vancouver, BC, well, recorded, as co-director of the Studies and Sexualities program, which I run along with the excellent Dr. ALIX OLSEN. Now, Studies and Sexualities, for those of you that don't know, is a great program that spans across Emory schools and departments. It connects faculty and students interested in thinking about issues of sexuality, class, race, and gender, as well as of history and geography. We host a student contest every year with essay prizes as a way to support writing on sexuality from across campus and to highlight the exciting teaching and scholarship in queer and feminist theory and in sexuality studies that's being done across Emory. So despite the challenges of this year, we had a great crop of essay submissions from students, both graduate and undergraduate, and I am delighted to be here to announce the winners of this year's contest. So our undergraduate award was judged by two fantastic PhD candidates, Tiara Jackson from African American Studies and Rohit Chakrabarty from English. Some of you may remember Rohit from last year as the winner of the SIS Graduate Essay Prize in 2020. So after carefully reviewing 15 wonderful submissions, Tiara and Rohit selected as runner-up for a cash prize of $100 a paper by Hannah Thomas Risman entitled, "Where Can the Black Queer Body Rest in America?" Hannah wrote this paper for a course on Black queer studies taught by Dr. Alex Chapman in the Department of African American Studies. So congratulations, Hannah. $100 coming your way. And for this year's winner of the SIS Undergraduate Student Essay Awards and a prize of $250, they selected a paper by Emma Cantor entitled "Agents of Destruction: Sexual Assault Realization in Girls and I May Destroy You." Emma wrote this paper for Film 102 with Dr. Michelle Schreiber in the Department of Film and Media Studies. So congratulations, Emma, well done, and you're the winner of this year's undergraduate awards. Okay, so moving on to the SIS Graduate Student Essay Awards. We had two fantastic faculty judges this year to judge our grad entries. Dr. Michelle Armstrong Partida, who's an associate professor in the Department of History, and Hansa Rogers, who's an assistant professor in the Department of Film and Media Studies. So they had a real struggle this year with so many excellent submissions, and so decided to award not one, but two runner-up prizes this year, right? More money, more fun, more essays. So huge congratulations, and a $100 prize each to Sana Malik Noon in the Department of Anthropology for her paper, "Women's Muslim Subjectivity Beyond Piety and Promiscuity," and another prize and another $100 to Samantha Risley in the Department of Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies for her paper, "The Effective Content of Normal Contempt, Misogyny as a Condition of Ambivalence." And finally, drum roll please, This year's winner of the SIS Graduate Student Essay Contest and a $250 cash prize is Alara Sherman for the Department of French and Italian for her paper Birthing Monsters, Fetal Memorials, Horror Shows, and Feminine Writing of the Clandestine Abortion. All right, well, congratulations to Alara. Well done. Maybe you'll be a judge for next year. And to all our winners for their fantastic accomplishments, for writing fabulous papers from classes and departments across the college. And a special thank you to our graduate and our faculty judges for all their hard work and making this happen. We'll say that we have plans to expand the essay contest next year to encompass not just scholarly writing, but also creative writing. So stay tuned, stay well. Follow us on Twitter at SISP_Emory for updates on events and more. And thanks, Pride Awards. Bye, everybody. Stay well.
Hello, my name is Angel Bruda, and I'm the president of Emory Pride, as well as a queer discussion group leader for queer men under the Office of LGBT Life here at Emory. The Emory Pride Member of the Year Award honors an individual who has made a strong commitment for making Emory Pride, as well as the university, a safe and inclusive place throughout the past year as an active participant in the organization. This person has made contributions that resulted in the creation or improvement of an inclusive, respectful, and safe climate for the LGBTQ+ community and their allies here at Emory. This year, we would like to present the award to two wonderful people at Emory who made last year wonderful for Emory Pride by attending almost every event and providing wonderful feedback. They both lightened the mood and made every event worthwhile to plan and attend. The 2021 Emory Pride Member of the Year goes to Nat Trejo and Griffin Noble. Tonight, I will be accepting Griffin Noble's award on his behalf. Thank you both for the wonderful times.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I am extremely honored to have been selected for this award. I did not expect to even be nominated in the first place, let alone be selected for it. I am filled with so much gratitude and appreciation. I've only been at Emory for a few months now. I'm a first year, but I really feel like I have found a home here with the Emory Pride organization and with Queer Emory. It was the first organization I joined on campus, and I was so excited to find a place that made me feel very welcomed here. And I hope to continue creating a welcome and inclusive space on campus. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Jessie Armidas, the Senior Director of Advancement for Campus Life. I had the honor at the Pride Awards this year to present our Alumni of the Year Award. This award honors an Emory alum who has made meaningful contributions to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community throughout the past year. The Alum of the Year Award will have demonstrated contributions that resulted in the creation or development of an inclusive, respectful, and safe climate for our LGBTQ+ community and their allies that promotes acceptance, equality, and diversity at the Emory community and beyond. The award recognizes an alum of Emory University who has made significant contributions and improvements to the LGBTQ community at Emory. This year, I'm pleased to present the Alum of the Year Award to two alums who have gone over and beyond to advocate for our student experience. These alums are Jessica Alavera and Neil Vasudeva. They were instrumental in moving our fundraising efforts forward for the Gala Legacy Fund. Due to their leadership, we have raised over $125,000 for the endowment. This endowment will provide sustainable support and perpetuity for our students. The fund will support the Office of LGBT Life by expanding existing leadership programs and developing new initiatives that will support our LGBTQ+ students. The fund will focus on educating all students to prepare them to work and live in a diverse and global environment. To raise visibility of the LGBT community on campus and increase opportunities for the LGBTQ students to develop as leaders and professionals. Thank you, Neil and Jessica, for your support and advocacy. I now will accept the award on their behalf. Thank you so much.
Hello everybody and happy virtual Pride Awards. My name is Kaylee Scruggs and I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a 2017 graduate of the Emory School of Nursing. I'm happy to be here on behalf of the LGBT Plus Alumni Scholarship Committee to announce this year's winner of the Gala Leadership Award. The Gala Leadership Award was founded in 2009, and each year since it has selected a student who has made significant leadership contributions to the LGBT plus community at Emory. It awards the selected student with a $5,000 scholarship for the upcoming year, and we are so happy to announce this year's winner as Paul Cruz. Paul is a first-year student at Emory who has hit the ground running and becoming a student leader. When there wasn't one existing already on campus, he decided to create a queer and trans Latinx discussion group with the Office of LGBT Life. He's devoted much of his time in creating a sense of community among queer students during a time where many feel isolated due to the pandemic. And furthermore, he plans to join me in the nursing field and become a nurse practitioner to provide accessible quality care to LGBTQ plus populations. Congratulations, Paul. Your passion is infectious, and we look forward to all you will do on the Emory community in the future.
The Office of LGBT Life is fortunate enough to have 2 endowed leadership funds for students, and I would like to recognize this year's recipients of one of these funds. The J. Michael Aycock Leadership Development Fund was founded by John Lilly to honor his mentor, Michael Aycock. This fund supports leadership opportunities and increases the leadership potential for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender undergraduate students. This year's award recipients applied and were selected to attend the Creating Change Conference sponsored by the National LGBTQ+ Task Force in January. While they were not able to meet and connect with other students in person, they were able to engage virtually in LGBTQ equality work across the nation. They attended and learned from a myriad of sessions on topics ranging from advocacy and justice to community building and liberation. This year's recipients are Paul Cruz Jr., Christine Liang, and Ashley RIVAS-TRIANA. Congratulations to you 3. This year, we've had the pleasure of working with amazing student staff and student volunteers. From their homes, these folks were at the center of our office's programs and resources, connecting with peers, fostering welcoming environments, sharing resources, and ensuring our office's programs ran smoothly are just a number of things that they did at the office during this past year. Our students have been phenomenal, from hosting weekly programming to managing office communication, to overseeing our social media and creating online initiatives. They also prepared for this event. The student staff have done it all. We truly don't know how we could have done this year without their creativity, laughter, and ultimately flexibility. So thank you to our 2021 student staff. In addition to our student staff, we have a group of 10 students who are the lifeblood of our office, meeting weekly with LGBTQ and questioning students across identities. These students work collaboratively to build spaces in which participants can show up and be their authentic selves. They listen to stories, they hold space for difficult and nuanced conversations. They remind one another of the joy and beauty existing within us all. For these reasons, I'd like to recognize their leadership and contributions to our office and to the Emory community. Lastly, I'd like to thank our volunteers, safe space facilitators. With their help, we were able to adapt our Safe Space program to a virtual model, allowing our community at Emory to continue their development as LGBTQ+ allies. Thank you for providing feedback, testing out our virtual activities, leading trainings, and of course, for helping create a more inclusive and welcoming Emory.
We would now like to recognize the 2021 graduates for their accomplishments during their time at Emory, and also acknowledge the great plans they have for after they receive their Emory diplomas. This year's graduates include scholars, researchers, innovators, movers, and shakers. They are the essence of Emory and will undoubtedly continue making significant change and progress as alumni. While we can't make up for the loss of big hugs and silly pictures with friends and mentors, we hope to remind our graduates of their extraordinary accomplishments during extraordinary times. With a few words from several administrators and friends at the Office of LGBT Life.
Hello, and thank you for letting me lend my voice and celebrate you on this Lavender graduation. It has been a year of so many challenges, and for so many of us, also a time of learning, a deep exploration about who we are. It's also important that we stop and acknowledge the accomplishments of the people in our community. So that's what I'm here to do. Congratulate you on your successes and accomplishments. And thank you for the many ways that you've contributed to the Emory community while you were here. Good luck on everything beyond Emory. We are proud of you, cheering you on, and looking forward to hearing more about who you are, who you become, what you accomplish. Congratulations.
Congratulations, 2021 Pride awardees and 2021 Lavender graduates. I'm Dr. Carol Henderson, Vice Provost for Diversity and Inclusion, Chief Diversity Officer, and Advisor to the President. It is my honor to celebrate you today and all that you've accomplished under extraordinary circumstances. Your resilience is inspiring, and we look forward to all that you will accomplish in your journey ahead. Continue to share your gifts with the world. It'll be all the better because of it. Take care. Be well.
Congratulations, class of 2021. It's been a long, hard year, but you're making it across the finish line. You and your generation make me so, so proud to be part of Emory's LGBT community.
Congratulations, Lavender graduates. I can't believe it's the end of year 4, year 2, year 8, however many years you've been here at Emory. Congratulations, we're so thrilled for you. Don't ever forget that your Emory family is here for you to celebrate the incredible things that you do in the future, and I can't wait to hear all about them. We'll see you soon.
Congrats to all of the 2021 Lavender graduates. Y'all are amazing. We're so happy that we get to share this moment with you, and we're looking forward to seeing all the wonderful things that you do out there when you get in the world. Congrats again, and enjoy this moment. You definitely deserve it.
Hello everyone, my name is Marsha Simpson. I'm your LGBT+ Alumni Liaison for Emory Alumni Association. Congratulations on all that you've accomplished during your time here at Emory, and especially in spite of this last year. I truly look forward to the moment where it's safe for us to meet in physical spaces again, so that I can personally host an event to celebrate you. Until then, cheers to all of your accomplishments, and thank you so much for allowing me to share your space.
Hello, class of 2021. This is Margot Cowden, Director of the Emory College Woodruff Scholars Program, and I am here to say congratulations, Lavender grads. I am sure you're hearing a lot about the future, so I thought I would leave you with some thoughts on the future from the inimitable queer Jose Esteban Munoz. Queerness is a mode of desiring that allows us to see and feel beyond the quagmire of the present. Wishing you everything good as you set off into your wild queer futures. Again, congrats!
Hey everyone, I'm Theron Grant from the Emory Counseling and Psychological Services Office, and also one of 2 liaisons to the Office of LGBT Life. I just wanted to take a moment and congratulate the class of 2021. It's definitely been quite the year to say the least, but I hope you're able to celebrate this moment, all of your achievements, and take pride in this joyous milestone. I'm wishing you well in your transition to the next thing, whatever it might be, wherever you may find yourself in this next year. Please be safe, be well, and take good care of yourselves. Peace and congratulations.
Congratulations, Lavender graduates. You've been through a particularly challenging year, and your persistence and hard work not only has paid off, it positions you well as you begin the next stage of your journey. On behalf of the Emory LGBT+ alumni group, we wish you all the best. Be safe, stay well, and keep in touch. We look forward to seeing you at alumni events in the future.
Jose Rodolfo Amador, he, him, his, Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology and Spanish and Portuguese. After Emory, he will peruse an MSW at Boston College. While at Emory, he presented at the National Conference on Undergraduate Research at Kennesaw State University, and also conducted research in Santiago, Chile through the Emory Global Health Institute. Rebecca Baker, Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and a minor in History. After Emory, she will continue her education in the form of a master's degree in Library and Information Science. A few of her accomplishments include working for the Emory Libraries and her role as a historian for Emory's chapter of the NAACP. Nick Bogan, Bachelor of Arts in Playwriting. After Emory, they hope to get started in either the theater industry or the video game industry, but as it stands, they're open to just about any path. A few of their accomplishments include producing multiple original works for the stage, including a one-act play at the 2021 Linnea Festival. They also co-implemented a mediation officer position to the ad hoc executive board. Andy Chen, he, him, Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and Behavioral Biology and Anthropology and Human Biology. After Emory, he will pursue a gap year in research, and a few of his accomplishments while at Emory include completion of an honors thesis in neuroscience and behavioral biology, and also being a recipient of the Emory Undergraduate Research Program's Independent Research Grant. Leira Cisneros, she, her, Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Latin American and Caribbean Studies. After Emory, she will begin working at Deloitte in Nashville, Tennessee. And during her time at Emory, she co-founded the Undocumented Students of America group and also was the vice president of the Goizueta Real Estate Group. Whitney Cruz, she, her, Bachelor of Arts in History and Ancient Mediterranean Studies. After Emory, she plans to attend law school and become a lawyer, particularly with an interest in public interest law. A few of her accomplishments while at Emory include being the co-president of the International Student Association and receiving an A on her senior thesis in her Ancient Mediterranean Studies major. SAVANNAH DEMIL, she, her, hers, MPH in Global Health and minor in Sexual and Reproductive Health and Population Studies. Her next steps are to work full-time after graduation before pursuing a PhD. Her goal is to obtain a PhD in Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies or Population Health. A few of her accomplishments include being the principal investigator of a study focusing on gender minority undergraduate students, and she also supported COVID-19 efforts as a contact tracer/case investigator. NIHARIKA DIGHE, she, they, Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and Behavioral Biology and minor in Economics. After graduation, she hopes to pursue a PhD in neuroscience. And during their time at Emory, they conducted neuroscience research at Emory under Dr. Shannon Gurley's mentorship, and they won a senior poster award at the annual Biomedical Research Conference for minority students. Americus Brown Murillo Gonzalez, they, them, Bachelor of Arts in Comparative Literature and minor in Music. After Emory, they will be pursuing a career in teaching creative writing, poetry to be specific. They co-founded a photography studio that also provides video editing services. Afterwards, they want to earn a graduate degree in architecture and design. While they were at Emory, they co-founded and were the president of Free Thought Poetry and also was a recipient of the Artisan Man Award in poetry. KARISSA Kang, Bachelor of Arts in Classics and English. This fall, they'll be matriculating at Yale Law School, where they hope to learn more about employment discrimination, especially against trans people. A few of KARISSA's accomplishments during their time at Emory include making some lifelong friends, discovering their love of classics and the ancient world, and facilitating Transforming Gender, a queer discussion group out of the Office of LGBT Life for the past 4 years. Latrice Lovens, she/her, Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and African American Studies. After Emory, Latrice aspires to do local advocacy work aimed at housing insecurity in Black, Latinx, and LGBTQ communities in the Atlanta area. A few of Latrice's accomplishments during her time at Emory include being the 2020 recipient of the Gala Leadership Award and serving as a sophomore advisor, resident advisor, and senior resident advisor here at Emory. Taylor McGee, she/her, Bachelor of Arts in Media Studies. After Emory, she will pursue a Master's of Divinity in Theology and the Arts and a concentration in Religion and Conflict Transformation at Boston University School of Theology. A few of her accomplishments include serving as a director, producer, and cinematographer on over 15 documentary films at Emory. And Taylor also won the Faculty in Residence Social Innovation and Social Justice Pitch Night for Grayscale Movement. OLIVIA McKnight, she/her, and they them. Bachelor of Arts in Art History and English/Creative Writing. After Emory, Olivia will attend graduate school for museum studies, and one of their accomplishments during their time at Emory include being the editor-in-chief of the Aloy Literary Magazine. Faith Muyoyo, she/her, Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy, Politics, and Law. Faith's next steps will be working at Deloitte for a couple of years and then will go to law school to become a lawyer. A few of her accomplishments during her time at Emory include participating in 2 campaigns, Stacey Abrams for governor and John Ossoff for senator, and has been on the dean's list multiple times. Trevor PUGH, he/him, Masters of Public Health in Public Health. Next steps include working with the CDC as a Presidential Management Fellow, where he will work to develop our public health workforce and help improve the programs that train new generations of the public health workforce. A few of Trevor's accomplishments during his time at Emory include being the Vice President of Communication of the Rollins Queer and Trans Collaborative, and being the Graduate Research Assistant on a study within Prism Health at Rollins. Julia Raymond, she/her, Bachelor of Science and Arts in Environmental Science and Human Health. After Emory, she plans to pursue a Master's of Public Health degree. Her accomplishments during her time at Emory include being the sophomore advisor in Dobbs Hall and being a member at large for Delta Phi Epsilon. Natalie Scales, she/her, Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Next steps include practicing as an RN in the emergency department, labor and delivery, or operating room in the greater Atlanta area. Some of Natalie's accomplishments include being the Vice President, Treasurer, Parliamentarian, and Social Chair at Emory for the Alpha Nu chapter of Theta Nu Xi Multicultural Sorority Incorporated. Natalie was also a frontline worker on the COVID-19 floor at the Emory Decatur Hospital. Rose Tirani, she/her, Bachelor of Arts and Sciences in Biology and Spanish. Her ultimate goal is to work in bilingual education in secondary schools. She's been named a Fulbright semifinalist to work in Spain to teach English, and she will know if she's been accepted as a finalist by April. Fingers crossed. Thus, she hopes to teach in Spain for a bit before returning to the US to teach and pursue a graduate degree in education. During her time at Emory, she won the Golden Blue Group Leadership Award at Oxford College and is a semi-finalist of the Fulbright program. Ashley RIVAS-TRIANA, she/her, Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology and a minor in Media Studies. After Emory, she hopes to use her time to explore her creative interests, get involved in community organizing, and live her best life in Atlanta. A few of Ashley's accomplishments during her time at Emory include being the 2019 recipient of the Gala Leadership Award and being a member of the 100 Senior Honorary. DAQUON Wilson, they, them, or he, him, Bachelor of Arts in African American Studies. After Emory, he will be an elementary school teacher in New York City. A few of their accomplishments include being a Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellow and being a member of the 100 Senior Honorary. BRYANA Williams, she/her, MD and MPH in Behavioral Science and Health Education. After Emory, as a family medicine doctor, she looks forward to caring for all people in her community, regardless of age, gender, or income. She plans to collaborate with her colleagues to make medical spaces more welcoming and inclusive. In the future, she would be equally satisfied leading an urban health center for uninsured patients, as she would be expanding clinics for LGBTQ adolescents. A few of her accomplishments include encouraging her medical school peers to understand the needs of marginalized people through her positions as president of Emory SNMA and recruitment chair of EMA. At Emory, she also gained an MPH specializing in health education and taught a year-long comprehensive sexuality curriculum to youth at her church.
While we hope you had fun this evening, I not so secretly hope that we're able to enjoy each other's company over shared food and drink next year, wearing our queerest and chicest attire with a renewed and deepened appreciation for our community and for this place we call Emory. Thank you to everyone who helped make this year's very special awards happen. In particular, I want to thank Jackie and the LGBT Life student staff for making sure this event and all the many, many virtual connections and conversations happened this year. I also want to thank the presenters and the recipients, Advancement in Alumni Engagement, Emory Video, Emory LGBT Plus alumni, and our partners in the work, our colleagues and dear friends in belonging and community justice. Thanks too to Megan Pendleton, who grew and elevated the work of LGBT Life over the past 4 years. Thank you also to everyone who makes a difference, has a conversation, steps out of their comfort zone, or makes good trouble in their corner of the university or the world. Remember that this journey is a marathon, not a sprint, and we must take care of ourselves and each other, and that includes a little celebrating now and again. I hope to see you all very soon. Be safe. Good night.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and congratulations again to all the award winners and to the graduates. If you're interested in staying up to date with all our programming and resources, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Emory LGBT Life, or visit our website lgbt.emory.edu. You can also scan this QR code using your phone's camera right now to sign up for our weekly newsletter.